Hi, I'm Catherine
And I'm Lynn, and we are a coffee break.
with Cat and Mom. Welcome back to our podcast. Today is episode 18, and today we are doing a story time sent in by our viewers of dating horror stories.
Yes.
And we actually got some
funny ones.
Yes. And we actually got some crazy ones sent in, so I'm very excited to share that with you guys. Before we start every episode, we do a little weekly review of what we've been up to.
What did we do?
I don't even know what we did. This might not be a very fun segment today. I've just been training, for the triathlon, went to the beach.
Went back to the gym because I didn't last week because I was painting. So
Yeah.
I'm sore from head to toe. I could fall asleep right now.
I don't know if you guys have heard from the past episodes, but I am training for a triathlon, and I'm making it my whole personality because I have nothing else interesting about me. But,
Whatever. I thought it was something fun that happened.
We went to the beach. That's pretty interesting.
We saw beluga. We saw a manatee.
Beluga.
Not beluga.
There's no beluga whales down here in South Florida.
We saw manatees.
Yeah, we did see manatees.
And we're going to Jacksonville tomorrow.
Tomorrow, not next weekend. Yeah. So that'll be fun. And the Super Bowl is this Sunday. Woo! Yes. I don't even follow the NFL, but it's okay.
It's the same two teams from last year.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I think so.
That's crazy.
I mean, okay.
You learned something new. But that is our weekend review. Super interesting. Moving on to our coffee review. This coffee review, I didn't actually go to the coffee shop. My mom went, though. So she will give you the little rundown. If you don't know from our past episodes, every episode we review a coffee shop to promote small businesses and the owners. So today, where do we go?
I went to, we tried to go so many times.
Yes.
It's called La Creme.
Mm-hmm. And it's in Meisner Park.
La Crema or La Creme?
Whatever. Either way, it's whatever you pronounce it.
And actually, it also is based in Miami because the bag had something that says Miami, but it's brand new in Meisner Park in Boca Raton. And we've been trying to go there while Amelia, my youngest one, swims in the afternoon, but we always would get there around 4:30, 4:40, and it closed at 5. So we kind of never really, because you don't want to just grab it and then sit down and everybody's
It looks very, very cute, though.
It is so cute.
It looks very classy and
French flair, tables outside, tables inside. And when we walked in, we were going to order to go because I was going to get my hair done, but then my hairdresser was delayed. It was late, so they called me and said, "Oh, we'll eat here." And because they knew we were kind of on a time frame, they were super nice. They put it already in to-go boxes for us and in a bag. It's like, just, if you're not done eating, just bring it with you. And they have breakfast all day. So Amelia ordered, oh my goodness.
I saw them. I actually tried
there's
that.
Pictures, so
pancakes.
Maybe you can put it on it.
Yes.
But it was 3 stacks. It was like a 3 pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes with chocolate chips in between. And then kind of like to leave a little bit of space, it was sliced of bananas.
Oh.
It was whipped cream on top and whatever. And then I had the poke bowl with tuna. It was amazing. Everything was so fresh and good. And of course, coffee-wise, I had to try the matcha there because, she hooked me up on stupid matcha and hot chocolate for Amelia. So it was fresh. It was nice. It was all there. Everybody was so nice at the restaurant. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, and it's in Meisner Park. Wow, sorry, guys. There's a massive yacht passing by. And
party on it, too.
My life,
party on
my life,
yacht.
Yeah, my future life just flashed before my eyes. There's a literal party going on in the back too, so that's nice.
In front of the boat and the back of the boat.
Yep. But I need to go and a little bit earlier in the day so that I'm able to try it. It looks beautiful. Meisner Park. I think there's more destinations.
There's one in Miami because the bag had says Miami, but I was able to see what people were eating, and it was all very big portions.
Yeah.
Huge sandwiches and. They had I think it's flatbread as well, and
it looks like a nice place that we'd
salads.
be able to film. Honestly,
because we even could sit outside. There was some people studying outside. It was very nice, and kind of across you could see Starbucks. It's just nothing against Starbucks.
Just a better vibe, yeah. And it's small business, so
yeah.
Next, I've added a segment, and it's to educate my mom on just the things that are going on in our celebrity world. Not because I want to give the celebrities a platform, but because they already have a huge platform, so I don't really need it. But to just as a joke, just for the drama. Today's segment is about the
The Grammys.
Grammys.
Which we
Because
did
there's a
not
lot
watch.
of we watched the
Oh, we
singing,
just-
but I technically have seen like the whole thing through TikTok. I swear I've watched the whole
That's
entire.
what I saw online
Yes,
too.
I watch everything through TikTok. But there's a lot of controversy over who won the album of the year.
Country album
Well,
of the
the
year.
album of the year, and then also the country album of the year, which
Yeah.
was both Beyonce. A lot of people were rooting for Billie. I was rooting for Billie, but I don't want to like give into the controversy, but Billie should have won. She got 5.5, like something like crazy like that, billion streams versus Beyonce that got 1.1, I think. So if you look at the numbers, Billie won by a landslide. She should have gotten the Grammy.
But even without the numbers, and we listen, so, I have to drive Amelia to swimming every day, back and forth, 40 minutes to 50 minutes in traffic. So we listen to a lot of music
Mhm.
and to a lot of different, artists, genre, and all this. But like, I don't remember really listening to new music from Beyonce. However, like, and I want to say her name wrong, but Ron Chapel, whatever. Okay, her, Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish. I mean, all of the other artists.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard all their songs, and I'm like, I didn't even know she came up with a new album, let alone like winning the whole album. But what I saw today, and it was kind of funny because people were kind of passing comment, like, I didn't even watch the Grammys. However, like, you see everything on social media, which we watched it just for the performances. So we didn't listen to anybody. Like, we watched it like actually last night, which
Yeah.
is like 3 days later. But we just fast forwarded to like
The performances, yeah.
and the ones that we knew or whatever.
Just because, like,
But-
even wait, what were you saying?
Well, no, yeah. So some of them are, and actually all of the ad I saw was like Chris Stapleton singing. And whether you like country or not, listen to his voice. It's unbelievable. This guy's voice is amazing, and everything you see is. So Beyonce, you're gonna tell me Beyonce beat Chris Stapleton this year? Like, and it's all this. It's
I
all
don't
the
even
time.
listen. Maybe I need to listen to Beyonce's album. I haven't actually listened to it because I haven't. I've heard one song and it was because it was trending on TikTok.
But Chris Stapleton
I'm not even a
he is
big
a
country
staple
fan either.
of country music, and anyway, whatever.
But I don't know
All
what
the
I
single
saw
ladies.
Zayn. I saw Zayn, former One Direction band member. If you don't know, put on Twitter saying like F the Grammys and stuff. Which honestly, yeah, like you have to pay. Like you pay for nominations and stuff. Like I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if it's like the public's opinion more rather than just like
No,
the labels, the
they
record
don't, they don't
labels.
care about our opinion. and
Yeah,
what
I
we
feel like
voted.
it's just
Come
now
on.
turned to all like,
It's
written
already-
in money and paying for your nomination and all that stuff.
They're saying, which I didn't see. We didn't look. I mean, I didn't watch like who won or whatnot, but the results because of the social media.
Yeah,
But apparently her reaction, Beyonce's reaction, was just so fake. Like, I already knew even her husband.
no, it was honestly
like, getting-
surprised, which we all were surprised. But
Because
but-
we didn't think
but, like, how did you- but I don't get it. Like I'm not trying to like shit on the Beyonce community here because I don't want to die. But like how did you get 4 billion less streams than Billie Eilish and win album of the year? And then just Billie alone. Like imagine Taylor Swift's album, The Tortured Poets.
Oh
and
my
then,
gosh, yeah, I forgot
and then
about that.
yes, she was in it. Like
Holy, okay.
Sabrina Carpenter. Like I think Espresso was everybody's number one song for 2024 because you couldn't stop getting it out of your head.
Yes.
But
And she did such a cute performance. I mean, I absolutely adore
Yeah, she's
her.
cute.
It was the first one, and she was hilarious. She was funny. Anyways,
that's all
all to
for
say, Chris Stapleton should have won. Anyway,
and Billie Eilish. But it's okay. It's over. It's dumb anyways. Like, just they don't need a golden little award to validate
I know,
that they were the
just
best
the
album.
performances were awesome. That's
Yeah.
what there is to say.
But
Okay, so
that
let's
is
just
all
dive in on
for
this.
our celebrity segment and keeping things up to date. Now this is probably the most excited I've ever been for an episode because we have some really fun stories for you guys. I made a TikTok and asked some people to DM us personally just in case they didn't
Yeah.
they wanted it to be anonymous.
We're
to
just
send
gonna make up names. So
Yes.
if the name is yours, we're sorry. We're just gonna
Yeah,
make
because
one
we
up.
know a lot of people that know a lot of people that like watch this, so I don't want to like
Like, oh my
expose
gosh, I know
anybody.
this was Lynn's
Yes.
story. So
Um,
unless it's my personal story, I will say like it's me. But
We got-
otherwise, we're gonna make up a name.
we got a lot of fun stories.
Yes.
But I guess I'll start.
So this one's from Claire.
This one's from Claire. Thank you for sending your story in. One time I was hanging out with this guy I met at the bar, making out, and I told him I would not be having sex with a man I just met. So then he said, "Would it be weird if I came in my pants?"
Oh,
Not even
I did not
thinking.
know this story.
Not even thinking or registering what he said, I said no. He did. I left. Then I talked to him for a while after, which I really regret. But when I finally broke up with him, he bought me a cross necklace and a vibrator.
Oh,
What the hell? Like, I don't even know how
Claire,
to
how
process
did you
this.
date him in the first place? More than
Well,
once.
I don't know. I don't even think it was like they never dated, but she said then I talked to him for a little while after.
Oh, okay.
So they talked. Probably hung out a couple times after, unfortunately. But wow, a cross
Okay.
necklace and a vibrator, that's one way to end things. That's a big like what's the word? Like the last hurrah.
The last hurrah, yeah.
Here
oh
you
my
go.
gosh. No,
That's, like,
narcissistic
really-
pig.
Yeah, that's
I'm
so
so sorry.
like that's so embarrassing for him. Like now she like ugh.
Well, okay, so I have one, and I can read it, but I know it because I laugh so much. I kind of know it by heart. But so we're gonna call her Elizabeth,
Yeah.
and Elizabeth is divorced, and Elizabeth is on this date came from a
Tinder?
dating site.
Just
Let's
a
see.
dating site. Okay.
Oh yeah, Match.com. I don't know which one, but one of those. I don't think. I don't see this person being on Tinder, but who knows? Maybe she was. I don't know. And so it had to be a Wednesday because this person came from a different state, so drove down to where she lives, and they met at a restaurant. While they were at a restaurant, they were meeting at 3:00. She got there at 3:00. He got there before, and he was already on this second old fashioned. So these are like pretty strong drinks. If you don't drink, old fashions are pretty. It's with whiskey. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she got there and she didn't know until the bartender said like, "Are you sure you want a third one?" And she was like, "Oh, it's 3 p.m. Wednesday." So she had a drink. He had his third one. Then they went out for dinner at 5 p.m. Because again, it's like middle of the week. She has to go work. I don't know if he had to go work or not, but
Yeah.
I think he was staying in. Yes, he was staying in town. So she said maybe I should skip. Okay. So then she said that they went out for dinner. He had quite a few beers. She had another cocktail. So we're at
It
2.
stared like before 3:00.
Yes,
That's
on a
crazy.
Wednesday. So then they walked and they went to a bar that has like like arcade games and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So that's kind of cool because I mean it's cool especially during the weekend if you have a group of people
Yeah.
and you can just play. So they played and whatnot. Well, now he was still drinking and drinking and drinking. So ended up that he was completely intoxicated. Sharing that he had lost his previous job because he had
3 DUIs,
it was
right?
his third DUI that he
Okay.
had a client in his vehicle and they had been drinking, and so clearly he got fired by his company. So now to remedy of this problem, he uses Uber. So she didn't think he thought it was funny. She didn't think it was funny because there was alcoholism in her family and it affected her
Yeah.
mom and stuff. So it was just like, I don't think this is funny. And he's like, well, yeah. So I just drove here, went to the hotel, grabbed an Uber, and I'm here. That's the best way to go. She's like,
gosh.
whatever. And then he continued to drink and then started crying, talking about his personal issues. She does not know the person. It's the first
That's
date.
so-
They met online, and he started crying and wouldn't stop crying. And she's just like, oh dear God, like she couldn't call a friend or anything like that. So she's like, I gotta go. Like, I'm so sorry, I gotta go. So of course he couldn't even like
Yeah.
figure out an Uber. So she had to drive him to the hotel.
That's so like embarrassing.
Yes, went home, and then she then said that they were supposed to have dinner the next day. So clearly he didn't have to.
He had
work,
a
or
place
maybe-
to stay the next night. Took a couple days off work or
I
something.
guess I don't know. Maybe he works online now.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I know she had to work, and that's what she said. And so she just texted the next day. She's like, I don't think this is gonna work. And he turned it around and saying that it was her fault and this and that. Anyway, so nightmare.
Ugh.
Grown
like,
ass man,
that's such a-
first date, get completely intoxicated on a Wednesday. So Elizabeth,
so
it cut it off at the first date.
that's crazy. Driving from another state, like I feel like that's such like a hit or miss. Like it's either gonna go terrible or it's gonna go really good. The fact that he would drive like from another state
Well,
to go,
yes, and the
to go
first thing
visit.
she said, I really had a good feeling about this one. It just went completely
That's
opposite.
I mean that's really scary though.
Yes.
Coming from another state, and like
Yeah.
also, why would you drive all that way just to like completely bomb a date like that?
And get
Like,
drawn.
at least, like,
make
pretend
make
like you're a
sound
good
like it was
guy.
her fault and not
Yeah.
his.
At least pretend like you're a good guy or something. I don't know. Like you're driving, you're wasting all your gas. Like
Yeah. And we're all like cheap as hell. Like you're wasting your gas. Like
that's a lot of money. A hotel room too and all.
Yeah.
For you to just be like, yeah.
Oh
I'm
well.
gonna screw this up really bad. So that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Little disclaimer: don't, I guess, put all your eggs in one basket from a guy in another state.
I don't know.
So this next one is from Lisa. Okay.
I can only Lisa. Okay.
Yeah, Lisa. So I got a date from Tinder. We decided to meet for a few drinks. We had a lot of fun, and I ended up having a drink too many. He kindly proposed to drive me to his place so we can talk a little more and go to sleep, and he'd get me back to my car the next morning. I said yes. I know. Stranger danger, right?
Yeah.
We got to his place, and I really needed to pee. I'm really scared where this is going. He really wanted me to show me around his house because he had worked really hard to get it, and he was really proud. We were so young, so it made sense for him to be proud. I wanted to ask for the bathroom, but he just wouldn't stop talking. Keep in mind that we had been drinking so much, so you have to pee a lot more. Yeah, so they drink a lot, so they have to pee. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I read that a little wrong. A few moments later, he was showing me the basement, which had a huge bathroom. He stood in front of the bathroom door and kept talking and talking. Imagine that. He's standing in front of the bathroom door, and you're like,
"Excuse me, can
you move?
Step aside?"
He kept talking and talking, and I just couldn't hold it in any longer, so I peed myself in front of him. The longest pee. You could hear the liquid getting in the floor. And I just started looking up, pretending not knowing what the sound was coming from, like it was a leak or something. He looked at me and said,
"Pants were all like full of pee on this nest."
Yeah, like imagine you're like, what is it coming from? That's weird.
Nasty.
He looked at me and said, yeah, I need to pee. And he went to the bathroom. This motherfucker. I saw a pile of laundry and cleaned my pee with it so there wouldn't be a puddle when he came out. I put the wet clothes back where they were. He came out a few minutes after and said, oh, by the way, I'm so sorry for all the laundry. I just didn't have the time to fold it, but don't worry, it's clean.
Oh, nasty.
It's clean. The poor guy just washed all his laundry, and now it's covered in pee.
Oh my gosh.
He covered
She
clothes.
was covered in pee the whole night? Is that it?
I think the rest? Yeah, no. But I hope that ended. I mean, you I have no words.
Can I take a shower in your shower?
Right?
Yes. Oh,
like you work so hard for it. Now can I use it?
It's nasty.
But like, what do you do in that situation?
Well, clearly they're not together anymore, right?
No,
okay.
Probably not. But like, what do you do in that situation? I guess you say, "Can I pee?" But
that's nasty.
Poor guy probably put his clothes on and it was like wet.
You're like, what the hell happened?
Like why is this wet?
Didn't clean. Like this batch didn't clean or whatever.
Oh,
that's because he probably didn't notice until the next day, whatever. So it dried. So it probably dried like all.
Oh,
it's nasty.
It's so nasty.
The fact that she peed herself. Who does that? Well, actually, I have a friend that every time she laughs too much, she pees herself. But she did.
I think when you get like really drunk though, and you're at a new person's place and you're nervous.
I don't know.
Pee yourself.
I don't know. I don't know. It's never happened to me. So I don't know. Maybe it happens. But yeah, one of my friends did pee herself.
Thank you for sending that story though. That was very bold of you, Lisa. Lisa, I hope you now ask for the bathroom.
Okay, so I have another one, but it's a short one, and actually it's a friend of mine, and I won't tell her name, but I mean, if you would know her, she's very good lady, Christian,
good heart,
raised, good heart. Her kids are amazing too. We're a very close family. Her kids are like my kids, and vice versa. But she was single child, and her dad was a pastor. So if you can just picture that she, her to go on a date is like, it was something else too. But so she went on a date, and how did she explain this? And she was just going to go for ice cream. That's what she said.
Oh, yeah.
She called yesterday and told us instead of writing it. And she said, I just was, very innocently was just going to go and drive in his car and go have ice cream. And the way it ended is never got the ice cream. And they ended up in a country road somewhere, parking the side and made out all night in the car. I just cannot picture her doing this.
I can't.
You can't.
I can't. I can't picture her doing that. But
It was so
go
funny.
off. Can't say her name, but go off.
That was just so funny. She's like, and she's laughing the whole time she's telling the story, which made it even funnier.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, if you know her, you're just like, there's no way she did that when she was younger. But
That's hilarious.
and then she maybe
a little
changed.
rebellious.
Yeah. Then she became more rebellious, I guess. I don't know. But
All right, this one's from Abigail. And it says, I had a date with this guy who I already knew it wasn't going to work out. But he had a great bod and was super hot, so I hung out with him anyways. And we ended up doing the deed at my place. If you guys don't know what the deed is, But at like 4 a.m., he went to roll over and toppled on top of my nightstand and completely broke it. And then, while doing that, also injured himself. So I had to play nurse. I'm assuming she had to walk over and nurse him back to health for a second and see if he was okay. But he said he was fine, and I had to watch him limp to his car. Mind you, it's 4 a.m. He ended up going to the hospital and found out he broke something. Even after all this, he still wanted to see me and thought I was the woman of his dreams.
Oh.
I guess he got a soul tie from this. I don't know. And thought I was the woman of his dreams. And he wasn't catching the hint because I kept telling him that it wasn't going to work. So I had to break the news to him at a sit-down dinner. And I guess it ended with a broken nightstand, a broken rib, and a broken heart.
Oh, he broke a rib. Oh,
wow, Abigail. This sounds really traumatic.
Maybe you don't have sex on your first date. Maybe that's what it is.
Poor guy.
Oh my gosh.
The broken nightstand is how do you
how
do you just absolutely roll over and break a nightstand?
Unless it's from IKEA, I guess. I don't know, but the nightstand's right here when you sleep. How'd that happen?
I don't want to know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also broke a rib. He must have freaking
exactly.
Superman jumped on that thing.
Nightstand was on the side.
Went to do a cannonball on the nightstand.
What the hell was going on?
You guys jumping on the bed. How do you
you have to have you
have to have some sort of force there to break the nightstand and his ribs. Because doesn't it take a lot of force to break your ribs? Or rib?
No, but it depends on. If you landed on the side like this, then it had to be the
this
corner.
Man clearly seems
about it.
They said he's got a great bod and super hot, so he's got to have a sturdy, a good figure.
So what was going on, Abigail?
Yeah, what the heck? But you broke his heart, so.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe it was for the best, because
clearly furniture would have been expensive.
I think that was
the sign. Save money on furniture.
Moving on.
I have two personal ones because one that you know already, but the other one was my first boyfriend, which was the same rule in my house that it was in your house. I was not allowed to date until I was 16.
Yeah.
Just like you girls, and all my friends that had boyfriends and whatnot. But anyway, so they introduced me like a friend of one of the boyfriends, whatever. And then it was, I don't know, we didn't date that long, but when it's your first boyfriend, it's just like, well, it's been a month, it's been 2 months, whatever. During the winter, my parents were coming here at this condo.
Mm-hmm.
So I was staying with a friend of mine in our house back home, and her mom would come, and then my brother sometimes would stop. My brother was 9 years older than me, so he would stop by. And, he always teased me and whatnot, but he was pretty protective. But anyway, so I go out one night with this boyfriend of mine and his best friend that I got along so well. It was kind of funny. He had a different kind of style, like rockabilly kind of style. I don't know. It was just rock and roll. It was super cool and super fun and nice. And then this other girl and other friends. So then, you're hungry after you drink and dance, whatever. So we're in this restaurant and he comes to me, the best friend comes to me. He's like, hey, he said, yeah, I can't stand this shit. I just can't. I said, we got to go. I can't stand these two. And I was like, okay, what's going on? You don't feel good? What happened? You guys had a fight? He's like, no. He said, I know he's your boyfriend and he's cheating on you with her right in front of you. And it's been going on the whole night. And I was like, what did you just say? And then thinking it's your first boyfriend, and I was just so devastated.
He didn't need to tell you after the whole night out. He should have said that before.
But yeah, the first, fucking minute. But anyways, and he said, at first he was the driver. So he's like, we're leaving. I'm driving you home.
Oh,
So we
period.
left these two there, and then he drove me home. Well, I get home, and my brother's.
You
and of
should have
course-
dated the friend.
Well, no. But, so then I cried right in the car because
You're a
you've
real
been
one.
drinking and you're crying. Your first boyfriend cheated on you. So I get home and my brother is there, opens the door for, he's like, who are you? Because he doesn't know
Yeah.
who he is. And I explain, he's like, okay, I like you. What's going on here? Why's my sister crying? So he tells the story because and then, oh my God. Thank God he didn't know where he left because he grabbed his key and he left. And then, so my friend's like, where's your brother going? I'm like, well, I think he's going after him, but I just don't know. Like, he doesn't know where he lives, so we're good, right? We're good. He's like, I'm just gonna follow your brother. So he left. He was going to just like destroy him.
Well, what a great friend. Like, did you become friends with that guy after, or did you kind of distance yourself because it?
No, I distanced myself. I never went and hung out with like where we used
Aw,
to hang out.
what a
and
good
whatnot.
guy.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I mean, I thought it was great because, I said he was such a nice guy the whole
Yeah.
time that I knew him. But yeah, and then that girl, good thing I've never seen her again, but it's my brother. And I was just like, what? And then he left, like, who are you? And it was just like so funny because, I was probably looked like terrible, but it's your first boyfriend. You're 16 and
That's such
The guy
a
cheats on
terrible
his-
way to like
freaking
end your
terrible.
first relationship.
Yeah.
Being cheated
I
on.
wouldn't call this a relationship, but anyway,
But
it was
still.
terrible.
Also,
I was
like,
16.
get yourself a friend like that one. The guy that
I
will
know.
tell
Yeah,
you like be
he
up.
was a sweetheart. Remember
Yeah.
that?
So this next one is from Caitlin. When I was 19 years old, I went to a bar and kissed this guy a couple times. So we ended up at his place where we were going to do it for our first time. But while we were
Is
kissing
it the
on his
first
couch,
date again?
no, it's
Oh.
it's like virginity, losing their virginity.
Oh, okay.
First time. But while we were kissing on his couch, his friend was sleeping there on the other couch. And I was like, can we go to your room or something? And he asked why. I was like, well, your friend is sleeping on the couch next to us. And he said, well, that is how a threesome works. I was mortified and confused and told him I didn't know this was a threesome considering his friend was literally sleeping. Safe to say, I never saw the man again and I left. Wow. One, I'm very like, this guy should be locked up because his friend is sleeping. So how is this a threesome?
No, but how is he becoming involved in this threesome?
Exactly, he's sleeping.
So
He's gonna wake up and be like, oh,
okay, I'm up. Let's go.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
And she would have lost her virginity to this situation.
I'm so
This
happy
is-
she like at least
Yes.
asked. Like, I'm not happy that she's put in that situation, but I'm happy, Caitlin, that you asked and you were.
This is terrible.
You were like, this is weird. Because I know people who like had sex in the same room as like their roommate. Which I mean, if your roommates, whatever, two like dorm mates, if your roommates are cool with that, which is like already, I just find it weird. Then whatever. But like,
it's a personal thing. I don't
if
know.
your roommate doesn't know and they wake up to that, like that's actually sexual assault. I'm pretty sure that's actually like so crossing the line. But
This whole situation's wrong. Oh, I'm glad she left.
yeah,
And that nothing happened,
that's
like,
so
she didn't-
disturbing. And imagine that like being your first time too,
I know. That's
and
what
you're
I'm
like,
saying.
all right, this is gonna be the night, and then he's like, oh.
That is so sad.
Yeah. So this makes me hate men even more. That's so disturbing.
It is.
Sorry, Caitlin, that this happened to you, and I hope you had a good first time with another man. All right, you got anything?
I got with your dad, my first date with your dad,
All right, tell us.
which was kind of funny. So I met your dad. It was actually it's two parts. So we'll start with the first part. When I met your dad, I was actually on a first date. I had been dating somebody from school
Mhm.
when I moved in Davenport, Iowa, and we had ended this, before Christmas. So now it's like January, whatever. And I meet this guy, and this guy's like, "Hey, do you want to go on a date?" And remember the friend we just talked about that had this country road ice cream situation going on? She knows which bar I was at. She knows which nightclub I went to, and she said on the phone yesterday, she's like, no, it's
A
really
little
not.
dirty bar.
It was just very shady, and I mean, best music though. That's why everybody was going. Best music. It was just maybe dangerous, at nights. But anyway, so I went to the bar to get some drinks. Like my friends were there too, and then your dad was next to me because no idea who he is, no idea what he does for a living, no idea he's an athlete or whatever. but he has cauliflower ears, right? And I didn't grow up with wrestlers in my life in Canada. I mean, it's not as prevalent as here. So, but now it is. Okay, but when I grew up, we didn't. So,
mind you, she's on a date with another guy.
yeah, I'm on a date with another guy, and I said, "What's up with your ears?" Because I must have been a little intoxicated. And he just turns around. And he's like, and I can't believe I said that. I mean, so rude. I mean, it was so rude of me. He's like, "Oh, they melted in the fire," and I just like, yeah, right, like just the ears, like nothing else. I'm like, whatever, bullshit. And I just went back with the drinks. And at the end of the night, he just found me and he's looking at me like, so we're face to face, right? And the guy I was on a date with, first date, is standing right here. It's like you would be him, and I'm talking to your dad. And he grabs my legs and he said, and he's proceeding to just grab my muscle. He's like, hey, you have muscular legs. And I was like, and I'm looking at the guy, I was like, is this not a problem? I mean, but he knows who your dad is. I don't, right? So I just like, okay, don't touch my legs. Like, what? And he's like, no, but I mean, you're muscular. Were you an athlete? And blah, blah, blah. And we're talking and stuff. The whole time he's there, and I'm like, are we? No, he's like, well, I'm leaving. I'm like, well, you're my right. Like, what? So then he leaves. So your dad was interesting. I finished the conversation, whatever. He comes back, and he's just so pissed off at me. And he's like, he's just a fighter. And then your dad started laughing so hard. I'm like, he's what? I still don't know what the heck an MMA fighter was. I had no idea.
At this point, was he like in the UFC?
I think the UFC had just started, but he had been doing like smaller shows and stuff. So he was already like a sort of a celebrity, like in a town celebrity, but I have no idea and stuff. And I'm like, he's a what? And then I said, well, maybe we should go, right? So I left and in the car, and he's like, I don't think this is gonna work. I'm like, no, I don't think this is gonna work. I mean, he let like another guy in front of him touch my legs, and so I'm like, what is wrong with him? So yeah,
I'm like really disturbed to hear the story because this is my mom and my dad.
Okay, I was 21, 22. I don't know. I was 22, 23. I don't know when I met your dad. I was like 21, 22. But anyway, no, I was at least 22. But then, so that was like 6 months later.
Yeah.
But during that time, and for about 6 months, your dad kept asking me to go out on dates, right? And it was very last minute. Something happened, and on his team, whatever. He had a fight. He had this, whatever. Anyway, so he had to go places with his fighters. But
so he would ghost her. He would
dip on her. So he would
cancel. He'd cancel. Dip on her.
He'd cancel all
last
the time.
Minute.
So it got to a point that it was just like, I would say yes, but I knew that it would be canceled. So I had made already plans with my friends to do stuff. So this was like a thing, a normal thing. So I think we're in June or May or June, and it's the same situation. And I know I'm going out with friends that night. So I'm just starting to get ready. I'm sitting on my couch, relaxing and whatnot. And then I get a phone call and it's him. And I'm thinking he's going to cancel, right? And he's like, hey, so we're right outside your apartment. And we're just like, how do we get in? I'm like, just like, yeah, okay, well, that's the door. And then I'm just like scrambling and I think it's just him, right? So I'm just getting ready and dressed and whatever really quickly, call my friends. Hey, you know what? Like, he's here. Like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm going on a date. So they're like, okay. And we're all laughing because, like I said, it's been 5-6 months he's doing this. I get in the car. His manager is there. So Monty was there.
Holy shit.
His manager is there and 2 other fighters, me and your dad. And I was like, oh, it's a whole big, heavy family. Like, what in the world? Little did I know, my first date with your dad, we went to a tough men contest in a very tiny town in the middle of nowhere in Illinois.
Sounds like some shit you do.
Which I can't, yeah. And then.
That or a drag racing
or something like that, yeah. So I get there. And of course, I have no idea. And I thought it was MMA, right? Which is not. It's boxing. I don't even know if you call this amateur. It's below amateur, I think. It's anybody that wants to.
It's 2 people going at it in the ring.
Wants to go. So we get there. It's not an arena, but a pretty big place. Anyways, it's all very well. I mean, there's a ring and it looks well put together. But so I get there, and then the 2 fighters that were there as well were just like, hey, we're going to go sit here, which we were ringside. We said, we're going to go sit here because your Pat at this point is a special guest. So he's going to go there with his manager. And I said, oh, okay. So the whole time I'm sitting there, and then those 2 guys are next to me, and they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, am I seeing what am I seeing right now? And they're all laughing. They said, yeah, there's women in line waiting and bringing their top, and they go down or up, and they want to have their boobs signed by him. And I'm saying, I'm like,
what a great first date.
Your date is going to be it. This is the first and the last date. And little did we know we were married for 20 years. But anyway, so that was my first date with your dad. He was signing boobies.
That's great. Imagine
At a
that.
tough
You're
man contest.
looking over and seeing your first date, and you got this guy signing girls' tits. It's great.
Yeah, I
Wow.
really thought I was going to be it too.
Left a great
But I
impression
mean,
there.
and those guys that were sitting with me, I remember one of them pretty well. They were laughing. They said, "You're a good sport here. I can't believe this is happening." And your dad was I mean, he didn't grab or touch or whatever
Yeah.
anybody, but that's what they wanted. I was like, well, small town,
He was probably freaking
missing
laughing
teeth,
to
whatever.
you.
And then yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's my parents for you. Aurora. Okay. I saw this guy a few times, and it was casual, but he decided to get a tattoo. Mind you, this guy doesn't have tats, and decided to surprise me with my full name in large lettering tattooed on him. So, when he showed up to my place to surprise me, I did what any sane person would do and told him, yeah, this isn't going to work out. And he got super pissed off and told me, now you're in big trouble. Maybe you should have looked my name up on the internet and then left. Turns out this guy just got out of prison, but I blocked him on everything and I'm alive, so I guess that's a good thing.
Oh my
Aurora,
God.
you should get a restraining order on this guy. That's a little obsessive. Like, even my boyfriend of 4.5 years, I hope this man would never get my name tattooed onto him.
Your dad and I never had
That's so
each other's names tattooed.
crazy.
What?
That's insane. Saw this guy a few times, and it was casual, but decided to get a tattoo.
Tattooed. Wow. Wow.
Run, actually restraining order.
Run.
Yeah, that's more than run. That's like restraining order. Get the cops out. Like,
oh my God. No, I mean, well, okay.
well, he has to live with that tattoo on him. That's hilarious. Karma on that guy. You're dumb.
Terrible.
Why would you do that?
I will say that my niece's ex, which is kind of funny. It's not a dating story or anything like that, but one of the multiple reasons why he's an ex, he's got her face tattooed.
Yeah.
On his arm. And we saw the picture, it doesn't even look like her.
He went to some really cheap, shitty tattoo artist, was like, I want her face on me.
Stuck with this for the rest of his life.
But he made her Native American style.
Yes.
Indian style, with the
Why?
Why?
Why? It's when she told us, we're like, yeah, whatever, and then she shows the pictures, we're like, holy shit. And it's just I know why I recognize her, because I'm telling you, if you would see it, it would be you. I'm not sure you would figure out that that's her, but we know the picture because her hands are, placed in a way. So we know the real picture. And then you see this,
it's lopsided.
So you know it's her, but I mean, only because the way she's standing, whatever. It's just
also embarrassing because you have to live with that forever. And she's not with you anymore. So
now
it's
she's getting married now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy people out here. All right. So thank you everybody that sent in stories. Those were a lot crazier than I was expecting. Honestly, I was expecting just some laid back, oh, he cheated on me, but those were very entertaining.
Yes,
I'm sorry that I found entertainment out of your trauma, but
well, I mean, if we can laugh about it now,
yes,
I mean, it's not funny. And
I'm sure they've all recovered, and
it's from losing virginity to
yourself
in your 40s, 50s, and then go
divorce.
Online trying to date, and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that we could do a segment on just that. Online
we
dating.
should honestly. That also, if you guys want to send in more dating horror stories or dating apps horror stories,
yes.
Please let us know. I'm sure we'll do many more episodes on stuff like this, because this was the funnest episode for me.
Yeah, it was
I'm glad we can all come together and joke about this stuff now, but
everybody was safe.
We can all we can all come together and say that men can be actually psychotic and disgusting.
I'm sure there's some women that could be like that too. But,
but these are all men in the story, and they're gross. So, sorry for the shit that you guys had to go through for that. But my last story is from my dad, and I remember that when he told me this when I was in high school. But when he was a freshman, he was considered, I guess, cool because him and his friend got invited to the senior house party, and they were wrestlers, so I guess they knew people from the wrestling team. and got invited.
Well, wrestling is really big from where you
Yes.
were from, so yeah.
And they went to this house party, and it was at the senior football player. Like he's the captain of the football team, and he was a senior, and it was at his house. So they all went to this house party, whatever, drank, and the football captain's girlfriend was extremely drunk, and cornered my dad into the bathroom and started making out with him. And he said on the phone yesterday, he's like, she kissed me, I didn't even kiss her back. And
Sure you did.
whatever. And anyway, he's a freshman with a senior girl, like whatever.
Yeah, he's the shit. Yeah.
And he was probably like drunk too. He's at a freaking house party, and the football captain walked in on his girlfriend like going to kiss my dad, and he couldn't even do anything about it because he knew my dad and his friend would beat him up.
Yeah.
Like he would have no chance. So he literally just couldn't do anything about it. My dad was just like, wasn't my fault, man. Wasn't my fault. Like, she kissed me. I'm out of here.
That's like almost a Sweet 16 movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he switched schools to Bettendorf for wrestling. So
He wasn't Bettendorf.
he was at North Scott. Or Assumption or North Scott at first freshman year.
At Bettendorf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, he did. That's true.
Yep.
The first year, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
no, I know that. Yeah.
Then I guess it's a good thing maybe that he switched schools because he had that reputation, girlfriend stealer. But that is all the stories we have today. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you found this episode very interesting, like we did. I love today's episode. Let me know if you guys have stories, and we'll share some more. Or if there's another topic that you guys want to hear, and we can ask for some stories on that topic as well.
Yeah, going on vacation, the vacation stories and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, those are fun too.
Mm-hmm. Last shout out to La Creme or La Crema, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's La Creme. I need to go try it, but she loved it. And she sent me pictures and stuff. And then before we end every episode, we do a Would You Rather that she asks me.
So since we were on like a funny kind of subject today, I wanted to just continue being funny. So would you rather have to be naked at work for an hour, or be dropped off 2 miles from your house naked, and you have to try to get home? 2 miles.
Okay. I would do dropped off 2 miles from my home because I feel like I could do it. I feel like I could grab some leaves and just
do an Adam and Eve.
Yeah, Adam and Eve, a little look. Because at work, like let's say I was working at the chiropractic office that I was working at in Iowa.
You'd be fired. Well, I mean, we might have a lot of patients coming in.
I'd be fired, and I'd probably get arrested, and I would easily get caught. So I think I have a better chance of the 2 miles, and I would be ducking through bushes
hopefully there's
and stuff.
Vegetation, and you could just like walk in the
naked and afraid.
Look at all the bugs on you.
Yeah, ew. Oh. Well, that is all we have for today's episode. Go follow us on Instagram at @coffee.break, TikTok at @coffee_break. Our episodes come out every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Our YouTube and Spotify is where video podcasts are at, but our audio podcasts are on a bunch of other platforms, which is in our link in bio on Instagram. Yeah. So go check that out. Thank you guys for listening so much, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Love you.